Regarding Wu Jing's secret to success, many people believe that it comes from his recklessness. He succeeded with one of the biggest gambles of his life, Wolf Warrior 2. From an actor who didn't have many outstanding works after years of struggling in the industry, he became the top actor at the Chinese box office. His image also gradually became familiar to the public with heroic characters, showing off both physical and mental strength. Born into a family with a martial arts tradition, Wu Jing was sent to learn martial arts by his parents at the age of 6. To realize his dream of becoming a talented martial artist, he went through a very difficult training process. During a martial arts competition, Wu Jing suffered a very serious injury that could paralyze both legs. This injury caused him to spend 2 years of treatment and training to recover his health, and it also caused him to lose many good opportunities to develop his career. Thanks to meeting director Yuan Wuping, Wu Jing was introduced to acting. Tai Chi Boxer was his debut film. His performance, though considered raw and somewhat exaggerated, was still a promising one with beautiful action sequences. The initial success brought Wu Jing to the path of professional acting. His name gradually became more familiar to the audience through a series of television series, such as Master of Tai Chi, The New Shaolin Temple, Legend of Dagger Li, Jiangshan Weizhang. Before becoming a breakout star in the late 2010s, Wu Jing appeared in numerous action martial arts films and learned a great deal from the top directors of Hong Kong martial arts cinema. After building his career on television in the late 1990s, Wu Jing returned to the big screen with the film Drunken Monkey, collaborating with veteran martial arts director Lau Kar-leung in his last work as director. The action sequences combining monkey kung fu and drunken kung fu, performed quite distinctively and creatively by Wu Jing. However, the film itself did not achieve the expected success, due to not being suitable for the audience's taste. Wu Jing had a significant breakthrough in his acting career with director Wilson Yip's film SPL Chapeau Lang. He plays the cold-blooded assassin Jack, who obediently follows his master's orders with an eerie smile on his lips. In this work, Wu Jing also began to change his action acting style, no longer being as flamboyant as before. He became more authentic and gritty this time. The hand-to-hand combat scene between Wu Jing and Donnie Yen near the end of the film is often considered one of the most impressive fight sequences in the history of Hong Kong action cinema. Wu Jing later collaborated with director Wilson Yip on several other films such as Magic to Win and SPL 2, A Time for Consequences. The success of SPL Chapeau Lang brought Wu Jing more attention from filmmakers. He had the opportunity to collaborate with director Dennis Law into films Fatal Contact and Fatal Move. Both roles allowed Wu Jing to showcase his martial arts talent, leaving audiences thrilled with a series of intense battles. But they were not yet his breakthrough performances. Wu Jing has starred in for films directed by Benny Chan, who is also the director he has collaborated with the most, although he has never been cast in a leading role. These films are Invisible Target, City Under Siege, Shaolin, and Call of Heroes. In all 4 films, although he only played supporting roles, Wu Jing gave a very well-rounded performance. The martial arts action scenes he brought were eye-catching and became highlights of the films. Audiences gradually became familiar with the image of Wu Jing as a powerful hero in fierce battles, and these roles have also made him one of China's highest-grossing actors. In 2017, Wu Jing released the film Wolf Warrior 2, which he directed, wrote the screenplay for, and starred in. Notably, when he couldn't find investors, he mortgaged his house, sold his car, and pawned assets to raise enough money to make the film. Wu Jing accepts this as a gamble in his film career. The film was very well received by audiences upon its release and broke box office records at an astonishing speed, surpassing Stephen Chow's The Mermaid. to become the highest-grossing film of all time in China at that time. Wolf Warrior 2 centers on Lung Feng, a highly skilled and discharged Chinese special forces operative seeking a peaceful life in Africa. His tranquility is shattered when mercenaries and rebel forces threaten Chinese nationals and civilians during an outbreak of civil war and a deadly virus. Lung Feng first becomes involved when he and his local friends are attacked by rebels trying to overthrow the government of the African nation. Despite opportunities for evacuation, Feng stays behind to help Chinese workers trapped at a factory and a doctor with vital knowledge of the lethal virus. Feng then receives a dying request from the wounded doctor to safeguard the only surviving patient with immunity Pasha. Feng joins forces with American Dr. Rachel Smith and fights to protect civilians from the ruthless mercenary Big Daddy and his European mercenary team. The film features intense battles and showcases Feng's resourcefulness against overwhelming odds. Ultimately, the Chinese military intervenes, tipping the scales and helping Feng defeat the mercenary leader, save the hostages, and halt the spread of the deadly virus. Lung Feng's courage earns him recognition and readmission to his military squadron. Following the success of Wolf Warrior 2, Wu Jing achieved another box office hit with The Wandering Earth, one of China's pioneering science fiction films. Set in the near future, an anomalously expanding red giant sun threatens to engulf the Earth within 100 years. Under a world government, humanity has constructed 12,000 enormous fusion-powered Earth engines to thrust Earth out of the solar system. As the planetary engines are activated, global disasters occur, forcing most survivors to live in vast underground cities adjacent to these engines due to the now frozen surface. 17 years later, as Earth slingshots close to Jupiter for a gravity assist, gravity spikes cause critical systems failures, disabling many engines and pulling Earth towards a collision. Protagonist Liu Qi, his adoptive sister Han De Duo, and their grandfather Hans Yang join a military rescue team transporting a key engine component to restart a disabled thruster. Meanwhile, astronaut Liu Peiqian, Liu Qi's father, aboard a space station, uncovers that the station's AI MOS prioritizes its own survival over Earth's. As the situation grows dire, Liu Qi and his team devise a plan to ignite Jupiter's hydrogen atmosphere, using a planetary engine's beam, hoping the explosion can push Earth to safety. With help from his father, who sacrifices the space station to ignite Jupiter, the plan succeeds. Humanity survives, and Earth continues its centuries-long journey through space. With its novel content and technical quality comparable to Hollywood, it's no surprise that The Wandering Earth was a box office hit in China. Although there are still many content gaps, the film is very deserving of the praise it receives for its boldness in exploiting a new topic, with a fresh filmmaking approach, proving that Asia can also produce science fiction works that are on par with the West. Wu Jing returns with the blockbuster, The Battle at Lake Changjin in 2021. The film even surpassed the previous record of Wolf Warrior 2 to become the highest-grossing film in Chinese box office history, holding this position for 4 years before the Ne Zha phenomenon swept the 2025 box office. Set against the backdrop of the Battle of Chosin Reservoir during the Korean War in winter 1950, the film follows the story of brothers Wu Qianli and Wu Wanli, who fight together as part of the PVA 7th Company. After Qianli returns home from the Chinese Civil War, China is drawn into the Korean War, and his younger brother Wanli secretly enlists and joins the same unit. The 7th Company is tasked with transporting supplies to the front line under brutal conditions, facing relentless U.S. air and ground attacks. The Chinese troops endure freezing temperatures and low supplies in the mountains, while American forces celebrate Thanksgiving comfortably. When the major offensive begins, the Chinese troops swarm U.S. positions at Sinhungni, and fierce combat ensues, forcing the U.S. forces to withdraw. Part 2. Continuing the story. focuses on the fierce battle for control of the strategic Watergate Bridge, which the PVA seeks to destroy to halt U.S. forces' retreat. The 7th and 9th companies of the PVA launch a nighttime attack after reconnaissance and planning. Despite facing heavy U.S. defenses, reinforcements, and air bombardments, the Chinese troops infiltrate through water pipes and trenches, engaging in brutal close-quarters combat. Wu Qianli and his younger brother Wu Wanli play key roles in these assaults. The Chinese initially capture the bridge but are forced to retreat after U.S. reinforcements arriving. The next day, PVA soldiers hiding nearby endure napalm and strafing attacks but continue to resist. The U.S. forces work to repair the bridge to facilitate their retreat, while the remaining PVA soldiers prepare for actions to destroy the bridge. Qianli eventually sacrifices himself to shoot the artillery shell, causing a massive explosion that blows a hole in the bridge. After a heroic battle, Wanli is the only one from 7th Company who is alive. Wanli brings Qianli's ashes home, a parallel to Qianli bringing their eldest brother's ashes home at the beginning of Part 1. The success of the two films, The Battle at Lake Changjin, comes from the magnificent visuals. The story is built to arouse patriotism, depicting brotherhood and camaraderie during wartime. Throughout his career, Wu Jing has always received support from the audience, not only because he has been successful in his on-screen roles, but also because he puts his heart and soul into each character, despite facing numerous risks and injuries throughout his career. After a series of successes, some of Wu Jing's recent works have not been highly regarded by critics, nor have they achieved the expected sales. Perhaps this is the necessary low point for him to reflect and find ways to change himself, or choose more suitable works to live up to the trust that audiences have always placed in him.